Right, good afternoon everyone. I'm just need to speak now about the transition that some students have made recently from Year 9 in Key Stage 3 into Key Stage 4 in Year 10. So the first thing is just the number of subjects students are doing is reduced as they go into the GCSEs. They will be doing lessons of 45 minutes, exactly the same as in Key Stage 3. Some of those lessons will be in doubles. I'm trying to accommodate that particularly in sort of sciences and arts to allow for practical lessons to take place. And students have 4 lessons per subject for each of their options subjects that they have chosen. For some of their core subjects that is slightly altered, but I'll come on to that a little bit later. Some students have a slightly different timetable and won't take 4 additional options like the majority of our students, but there'll be various reasons for that based around either special educational needs or English as an additional language. So we'll try and tailor a programme to best fit that particular student. All students will be expected to take a language at IGCSE. There's a few exceptions to that which will be related to the needs that I mentioned above, such as English as additional language and SEM. But generally we try and encourage all students to take an additional language at GCSE. This year, unfortunately, it's going to be a little confusing in terms of the grading system, and it's the same in the UK at the moment, where some GCSE subjects are using the new 9-to-1 grading system, whereas some are still using the traditional A star down to G. So you will have a mix of grades on your report on the parent portal and iSams coming in. So some will be numbers, some will be letters. The A star to G is hopefully something that you're familiar with from that, say that's been in place for some years now. But the 9-to-1 grading, as you can see, the 9 is the top grade, not 1 as you might think it might have been. I think that's probably because when GCSEs first came out, there was only a grade A as the top grade. They then introduced the A star. I think they've probably done it this way because eventually they might become a number 10 or something else, and I think they're sort of seeing how things go. But as you will see, a 7 is about equivalent to a grade A. That's how they're sort of seeing it. And so a grade 8 is equivalent to approaching an A star, and a 9, there's going to be fewer 9s awarded than there would be A stars. So a 9 is almost an A star really. Okay, so an 8 is what universities, colleges, etc. will be treating it as equivalent to an A star in entries to various courses. That's true across English, maths, science, the other subjects as well. A consequence of that is going to be the tier of entry, particularly in maths, the subject that I'm more familiar with, is that because what has been known as the foundation tier or the core tier is going to be a little bit tougher than it has been in the past. And so the foundation tier at maths, for example, only went up to grade C, which as you can see is equivalent to a level 4 on the new system. Whereas the foundation tier now is going up to a 6, which is more equivalent to a grade B. And so the table on the right just shows that in the UK, the number of entries for either higher or foundation was 3/4 to 1/4 more or less, whereas now it's almost changed to 50-50 because the students are still able to access the good passes on the foundation tier, and they're finding that the higher tiers may be a little difficult to access. We still see the vast majority of our students pursuing the higher tier, but there will be some students where we'll have individual conversations with parents that we feel the best option for them would be for the foundation. So, like I say, that'll be between the classroom teacher and the pupil and the parents to discuss that. One thing I've been trying to instill in the students is a bit of resilience. Just put that there. So it says fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Just that if you keep going up against something, keep being resilient, keep getting up, trying again, don't give up. And the main reason I've been saying that to students is in regard to not dropping subjects. We will speak to students. We know our students from Key Stage 3 very well already. We very quickly get to know students who join us in year 10 very well, and we will make sure that they are on a set of courses that are appropriate for them. If we feel that they have needs such as I've mentioned before, English as additional language or special educational needs, then we will alter and tailor their programme to suit them. But unless we feel that, we will want students to take a full load of GCSEs, 4 additional subjects, and not dropping subjects. The number of reasons for that is that we want them to demonstrate a full range of skills across their option subjects. We want them to be taking what would be expected as a full load of GCSEs from colleges looking at A-levels and beyond. But also, with students in year 10, year 11, if we are saying that they drop a subject, then, and we're giving them study time, then it's in our experience to allow a 14 or 15-year-old student to have independent study time is not a valuable use of their time. It's a much better use for us to have them in lessons led by teachers who are experts in that particular subject and working towards the GCSE. But obviously, if we feel that we need to alter that, we will do that. So please do trust us on that, and don't be emailing and asking, because if they're finding things a little bit tough, you might say to you, "Oh, can I drop this subject?" You know, our first response will generally be no to that. And if there's an issue, we will have spotted that before, and we will have altered things accordingly then. Okay? Let's get through that. Just a few things on the core subjects. Maths, not math, as they all say. Okay? British International School, not American. And the most important subject, obviously. We'll be taught 5 lessons a week rather than the 4 going for with the core subjects. We're trying to make sure that for the maths and English in particular, we're hitting those grades that students need to be getting. That is now on the 9-to-1 grading system, and our top set mathematicians will also pursue the further pure maths IGCSE as well. And that is not a prerequisite for students to do A-level maths. If students are getting a 7 or above on the regular IGCSE maths, we will be seeing that as suitable to be taking A-level. We certainly won't, in any colleges that I would say are worth you going to, would not be insisting on further maths to do A-level maths. That will only be as well on the condition that that further maths is not impacting on the student's IGCSE grade. We would much rather a student didn't do the further maths but got an 8 or a 9 in IGCSE than say took both of them and got a 7 on each. Okay, it's the IGCSE regular maths is the more important one of the two. So again, if we feel that the further maths is impacting on someone's regular maths grade, we'll look at making that switch. For English, again, is 5 periods a week. There's 1 double lesson within that, which will be used mainly to accommodate the sort of the extended writing essays building up to the kind of material they would have to write in their examination. Our sets 1 and 2, in addition to the English language GCSE, will also take English literature at IGCSE. Our set 3 will take just the English language IGCSE, and then we have a group that takes English as second language. So that'll be students where we don't feel the English language IGCSE is accessible to them, and they'll take English as second language. And for science, they have 4 lessons each for biology, physics and chemistry per week. So 12 lessons in total working towards science. Again, with double lessons to accommodate the practical sessions. All of our students will initially start on taking the 3 sciences separate as the triple science. As we're going through, if we're feeling that some students are not able to access those 3 IGCSEs and that's impacting on other subject areas, or they're not likely to get the grades in those, we will adjust that, and that student will move on to the Science Double Award. And the Science Double Award does not involve choosing just 2 of those 3 sciences. It still covers aspects of all 3 different sciences, but it is worth 2 GCSEs, and as such, there's sort of 2/3 of the workload. But the students will still have the 12 lessons per week to work on that. So we're giving them a better chance of still getting a good science grade, not having to do as much work, but having more time to work on that. Like I said, the decision on which pupils will be on that course has not been made yet. There's a lot of overlap in the course. The majority of the year 10 would be the same regardless of which course they end up following. So towards the end of year 10, that decision will be made. Obviously yourselves as parents will be notified and involved in that conversation. And for prep, similar to Key Stage 3, slightly longer. They will have an hour and 30 minutes each evening as part of prep from 7 till 8:30. Students will be set approximately 30 minutes per task, approximately 3 subjects per night. Sometimes that might be set over a prolonged period, such as a coursework piece or an art piece, that they may say for the next 4 weeks your prep is to work on this, but then they are expected to sort of put aside 30 minutes on aggregate across that time. But that might be a whole slot at once, and then they catch up with the subjects on the next evening or so. And we expect students to use their planners to record their prep, making sure they're getting all those instructions down. And the same as Mr. Squire said in the house, the tutors on duty supervising prep, again, same as with Key Stage 3, will be checking the students, making sure that they're getting that work done. And final point I wanted to raise actually was about revision, that this is something that should be ongoing throughout sort of year 10, year 11 in particular. I'm stressing to my classes now that they need to start their revision now and be continually reviewing the work that they've done in year 10. We'll cover a number of revision techniques that will be useful during our PSHE sessions on Saturday mornings with students, so that will be covered with the tutors. And we would advise you searching out sort of past papers at this early stage and start looking at that now, because the majority of the work at this stage won't have been covered and it will just cause confusion. As that gets towards exam time, then past papers are going to be a valuable resource to use, but at this point now, I've already had students saying, I've tried to do this past paper, I've not understood this. And I'm like, well, we've not covered that yet, so don't worry about that for now. And school holidays will be key in preparation for those examinations. We have the actual IGCSEs themselves are very quickly after the Easter holidays, 2-3 weeks after they'll be starting. The week straight after the May half term we'll also have some IGCSEs. Our mock exams for year 11 to try and reflect that are straight after the Christmas holidays, and so we would plead with you to please not have large extended holidays sort of during those times, but also in times leading up. For students to achieve their potential, they need to be doing stuff outside of the classroom, and we can obviously make sure that's happening here in prep time, but it's vital that they're using their holiday time, particularly that Easter and May half term and the Christmas before their mocks, to make sure they're prepared fully for those examinations. And just one final thing is just about the support network that's in place that we have here. So we have, for every student, there's quite an extensive team that's involved in trying to prepare them for their IGCSEs and everything else that goes with that, and life beyond Epsom. So there's the HMM, there's the tutor, there's myself as the Key Stage coordinator, all their subject teachers. We have counsellors, Meryl and Joseph in school, who will help students if they're struggling with particular issues, the school nurse, and we have a learning support team as well. So we have quite an extensive network all there to try and help and guide and support. So if you do have any questions, then feel free to ask me just quickly now, or email me anytime if you have any further queries, or obviously the tutor or the HMM too. Okay, thank you very much.